Good afternoon, laborers, and welcome to another episode of Political Hard Talk. I am your host, none other than the greatest laborite alive and now the voice of Western Jamaica. Good afternoon, my people. Good afternoon, guys. I am sitting down here in Savlamar, Westmoreland currently. It is hot and I am here to continue the business of my government. Now today, guys, like I promised you guys, we will be hosting none other than Tamika Davis, a giant slaying MP who whooped the butt of Ian Scales. See, send him packing, running down into Westmoreland. But as history will have it, Moreland Wilson will also whoop his butt and send him somewhere else. So Ian Hills, will be lifting up from Westmoreland shortly as well. See? So we are now waiting on the MP to join us, guys. But we are going to have a decent conversation today. Moderators, as the program goes, please do not open the box unless I instruct you to. Please do not add anyone unless I instruct you guys to. See? So we're waiting for the MP to join. But before the MP join, I want to, make an announcement. So the Frome police station will be going live shortly. It is a smart police station. MP George right down here in central Westmoreland will be opening that police station soon. A brand new police station. Millions of Jamaican dollars was spent on that police station. Rebuilding it, putting in state-of-the-art equipment. That police station will be also giving new police vehicle. A lot of police officers will be posted there, and we continue Operation Secure Jamaica. See? So while we wait for the MP, guys, we had a brilliant live this morning, a very informative live this morning. I am going to download that live today, as a matter of fact, and I will post it later on in the evening. See? The video that I posted this morning on YouTube was a live from 2 days ago. So anybody missed that live, it is now on YouTube. You can go over there and interact. If you're following me here and you're not following me on YouTube, please go over YouTube and like one of my video them, watch one of my video them, share one of my video them, tell a friend to tell a friend, and please do not forget to subscribe. See? And remember to watch the ads. See? Wanna watch the ads them. Hello, Josh. So before we kick off the show, while we wait for the MP, let's just do the shout outs as per usual. So big up my people them over YouTube as per usual. I don't tell them to like, share and subscribe already. So Chad Carter, the guru, big up yourself. Anthony Livingston 51, big up yourself. My wife to be 1 in a million. My support system, my backbone, big up yourself, mama. Zeus Bernard, big up yourself. Sexy Gigi, big up yourself. Anisha Green, big up yourself. Wiley, big up yourself. Melvin, big up yourself. Amy, big up yourself, mama. Boss Jaden, big up yourself. Marva Samuels, big up yourself. Rory, big up yourself, my boss. I see you. Melissa Barrett, big up yourself. Alos Jen, big up yourself. Protecting JA, big up yourself, my boss. Forever Blessed Natalie, big up yourself, mama. Virgo Babe, big up yourself. What's this? Mark So Scary or Mark Marks O'Carey, big up yourself. Katie Bless, big up yourself. Kayan Reed, big up yourself. Shemdan One, big up yourself. I'm So Blessed Yannick, big up yourself. Sister Samara, big up yourself. You're one of my moderators as well. Scott Thomas, big up yourself. Best Dance, big up yourself. Mr. Arville Samuels, big up yourself, my boss. Mama of Two Boys Original, big up yourself. Russian Wright, big up yourself. Josh Shea, big up yourself. Josh Shea is one of my top gifters, so special shout out to Josh Shea. Big up yourself, Josh Shea. User, big up yourself. Brother Politics and Sports, big up yourself. Winsome Swaby, big up yourself. Babs, big up yourself. Niaro, big up yourself. Jamaica Job Hub, big up yourself. Auntie Marcia G, big up yourself. Regina Stewart, big up yourself. Sonia Bryan, big up yourself. Jam, big up yourself. Eva Clean, big up yourself. Pam, big up yourself. Travis Shower Boss Turner, big up yourself. Bless Ashore, big up yourself. And it come like me can't done call him. Wayne Johnson, big up yourself. Puma Star, big up yourself. Devon Young, Faithful, A Official, Dale Garden, and we see another user. Big up yourself. Guys, continue to like up the live, please. Continue to share the live. We are waiting on the MP to join. She should be joining shortly. So we are waiting on the MP. As soon as I see her pop in, I will be. Oh, she's here, so I'll be sending the invite to her. Let me send a co-host invite to her. Oh, in order for me to send her a co-host, you would have to go live. So I'm just send her the request to just come in, and we'll give her the big box. You know. Good afternoon, MP Davis.
Good afternoon, DUJON. Good afternoon to you and to all your viewers and listeners.
Good afternoon.
We are the labor rights. Show labor rights.
That is fine, moderator. Yes, we can have the big box, 2 big box. So yes, the MP, I want you to introduce yourself to the people. Obviously, I know that you're a giant slayer. You're the one who whooped Ian Scales' ass and set him packing. Sorry for the for the adjective, but yes, tell the people, a bit of background about yourself, MP Davis.
Okay. Who is Tamika Davis? I am from Hanover, from a small community called Middlesex.
Yes.
Went to Middlesex Corner Primary School. Also went to Rusty's High School. Big up all the Russians. And from there, I went on to university. So in addition to being an MP, I was a lawyer, still am. This year marks, 20 years since I've been an attorney at law. And so I remember when I just started out, the big shocker was that, I had no background in politics. She's a lawyer, but my answer to that always is that what I really had was a passion and a heart for changing Hanover, and that hasn't changed at all. What else about me? I think everybody knows by now I'm big on education, not only because my mother was a teacher. She taught at Middlesex Primary, and she also taught at Rusty's High School. And most of my aunts are also teachers. But apart from that, I think my genuine love for education is my honest belief that education is a vehicle that can transport you to any area of life. And so you'll find that once you say education, I think people know now. They know just dropping the word education, and Miss Davis' heart gone soft there. So I really believe in using education as a vehicle to move yourself upward, whatever kind, whether it's academics or whether it's through training. Once it is education, I am for it. What else about me? I love to drive.
Yes.
I love music of all kinds. What don't you know? And I'm at heart just really passionate. Of course, every time I talk about Hanover, my love for Hanover, I get
So
really
you have been
passionate.
a proper daughter of the soil, then MP. You're a Hanoverian at heart by
Yes,
birth.
man. Born, live, raise, and my practice is actually in Hanover. So my law practice is also in Hanover.
MP, let me ask you this question. Tell us and tell Jamaica about, some of the stuff that you would have seen, impacting persons in Hanover while the opposing party was in power. Give us
Right.
a bit
So
of background.
So although while I was growing up, I wasn't looking at my parish through political lenses. I was
Yes.
just a person affected by what I saw. I can always share this story. I remember when I was in grade 10, everybody called where I live Firehole because when you turn off the main road, it's as dark as midnight. And the road is not as good. Well, it wasn't as good as it is now. But I remember being in grade 10, 10 2 at Rosse's High School, and writing to the mayor and asking why we couldn't have a street light. And I think at the time I didn't, like I said, I wasn't doing it from a political perspective. It was just realizing that there were some basic things in my community and in my parish that were not getting done. So, I mean, that was probably my first dip into it, wanting to see change from my community, and then it extended to the parish. But there's no shame in it. When I was growing up, we had no water. So when people say there's no water in the areas, no, it's not new.
Yes.
Um, Bathe in a basin, catch the water, go a river. I know all of it. Um, just below my house, there used to be a standpipe until it wasn't there anymore. So you can talk to me about not having water. I live it. Um,
So MP, tell us about when you took over as MP. What would have been some of the challenges that you would have faced in like the first instant, the first 6 months, first year? What challenges you faced?
all right, so
What the condition of the constituency?
yeah, so I'm going to speak as a matter of fact, not again, not politically. Nothing was happening in Western Hanover. So I basically started from scratch. The road infrastructure was poor, road bad everywhere. There was not much being done to our water systems, the water supply, the overall infrastructure, the towns, the communities. Um, Opportunities for young people engagement, and we could go on. So I remember, and I always talk about the very first meeting I went to in my capacity as MP. So now I'm MP, and there was this meeting. I think it was conducted by the National Works Agency, where they welcomed all the MPs. I said, listen, these are the projects that are going on in your constituency, and some of you would have been changed, some new, but this is what is there. And I sat in the room with John, and I listened to every constituency being called, and I couldn't hear anything for Hanover Western. Of course, I put up my hand and I said, "Boy, they must have skipped Hanover Western."
Yes.
When I asked, I was told that there were no projects for Hanover Western.
So when you say no projects, MP, can you elaborate further? What no project mean? No road project, no water project, no housing. What?
Right. So no, this was specifically National Works Agency. I can tell you about different
Roads.
agencies,
Okay. Okay.
but in relation to roads.
Yes.
All right. So as the member of parliament, when you find or a road that you deem to be in dire need and you want to have it fixed,
Yes.
you submit it to National Works Agency so they can scope it. And scope it means that the engineers come and they measure it and say if you're going to need drain, if you're going to need culvert, how much inch of asphalt, what it will take to make
Yes.
that road good.
Yes.
So to start any work, that is the first thing. You have to submit the road to Innovator. Tell them this is the road I have an interest in. I am no engineer. You come and measure it. Tell me how much it will cost. Then that's how you start the path. That is how you getting the road fixed. So basically, when I went in, there were no submissions there
Yes, no
on
submission.
behalf of
All.
Hanover Western.
None at all. And,
None.
and and the previous MP would have spent how many years as MP?
Why? After six, I stopped counting. It's just, I mean, it speaks to really the fact that nothing had been happening, not only from what we could see on the outside. And I remember someone sending me a text and said, MP, check out Parliament as attendance. Some persons weren't even going to represent the constituency. I mean, I don't even have to see that to know that nothing was happening. You know, I didn't need to go that far, but it was clear that in terms of representation, in terms of simply just writing a letter and saying, listen, this is bad, this needs to be fixed, whether it's water, school, housing, and the list could go on. There was no representation being made on behalf of the people. And so it's a good segue because I tell people now that because I'm coming from a position where so much needed to be done, at the very least, one of the biggest distinctions I want you and the listeners and the viewers to know is that submissions are now being made. So I might say, boy, Miss Davis, want seawall fix, for instance.
Yeah.
One thing they can be assured of, if anyone calls NWA and asks to see what submissions were made, they won't see a blank sheet because I have done that. I have done the lobbying and the advocating for all the roads that are in dire condition. They're really bad. And so I'm at that point where we've started the discussions, the scoping, and roads have begun to be fixed. And that is a whole topic by itself because since 2020, the number of roads that have been fixed, I mean, I'm sure if we were to measure it, it would certainly do it by kilometer. We've done more work in the last 4.5 years than in the last 13 years.
My. So the previous MP would have failed in his capacity miserably. And that this is why he was voted out. You know, and now he's tormenting the people of Westmoreland like Freddie Cooper.
Your words.
So MP, before we move to the questions, I want to ask you, can you tell us some of the programs that you have going on up there in Western Hanover?
All right, so, oof, I don't, let me see if I can summarize. So this is it. This is a summary because I don't think we have a program long enough to go through all that I have done. But let me start with, I've already mentioned my work in education. So it involves giving grants to tertiary level students. And hold on, I have to mention my PEP awards. So it is something that was introduced in 2021 and we've done it every year since. So we honor our prep students. We treat them well, we take them. Usually, Grand Palladium joins us in this, and we give them vouchers, gifts, trophies, and we just ensure that the top student, boy, girl, for every primary school in the constituency is feted. And linked to that is also my essay competition because we want to have our children involved in the governance issues, topical issues. Like we want them to know that listen, climate change affects you, violence in schools, water distribution in your community. So that the essay competition, I believe we're in only our second year. We are engaging not only high schoolers but primary schools, and I'm going to invite you when next I have it so that you can see the quality of the essays that we get and the suggestions that are given to us. And in continuing that, from the essay competition, I will say it's a part of the prize, but I take them to Parliament with me so that they can see firsthand. I remember, I mean, I don't know, I'm not going to ask your age, but about civics. But something as attending the Parliament in person. I remember when I was going to primary school, anytime the bus drive out past Keeplett, you feel like you're in a new land. And so going to Kingston was always something I look forward to, the trip in a year. And we don't want to lose that. So taking them to Parliament is not just a reward for participating, but to expand and pique their knowledge in what is happening in our parliament. So that's always a good experience for me as well. Quite apart from education, we have we have housing repairs, we have economic enablement projects, and big on sports. We had a football league running that was really, really well attended because football is used to help our youth to join together in community building. Um, I want to talk here about the Lord's Playfield as well. I'm sure you're familiar with the Lord's Playfield.
Yes.
Um, all right, so as you know, strictly speaking, it doesn't fall under what I'm responsible for. It is the municipal corporation that has a responsibility, just like how they have responsibility for cemeteries, markets, and parks. They are tasked with ensuring that our parks look good. And for years, I can go back to the primary school days. When I'm driving into Lucy and you pass Lord's Playfield, it is it's really a sight for our eyes. You recall what it
Yes.
is and what it was
Yes.
like.
Yes.
And so although not under my portfolio, I decided in March of last year, wow, to use funding through a program, a sponsor program, to have um, the football field and the netball court. I don't know if when you drive past, I don't know, depending on how fast you go, there is in fact a netball court there. And
Yes.
often people say, where do our children play? Children are on their tablets, but where do they go? It was or still is in a deplorable condition. So what I had to do was seek permission from the municipal corporation to do works to it. We got the permission, scoping was done, and we were slated to begin in October last year. All right, no sooner had we started the work than we were given notice to stop. And I don't know how much you want me to go into that stoppage, but we soon get to
Please,
that.
please
You want,
elaborate on VP,
you
because the
want me to
people
go into
want to
that?
know.
All right, so
Because the people
the
want to know.
municipal corporation served us with a notice to
As
stop doing
children,
works there.
we learned it.
The planning committee is headed by the mayor, as you well know, and so we were asked to provide a plan, a plan for. Well, there were no structures going up, just so you understand. It was the netball court, and if you passed there recently, what we started with was a fencing. So what was there? I don't know if you remember it now. The fence was, how best to describe it, bits and pieces everywhere. So we put up the perimeter fencing. If you drive past now, it looks good.
Okay.
And that is only the first step of the work. What we had intended to do was to bring the netball court up to Olympic standard. We don't have anything like that in Hanover.
Hanover, yeah.
All right, so it was only last week after again a lot of back and forth because it is something I believe strongly in. We need that space. So there are benefits all around. When you're coming into Lucy, it just going to look good. And
And it would
apart from
benefit,
just
and
looking
it's
good,
benefiting
it is
both
so
PNP and JLP, I'm sure.
both PNP and JLP. And apart from just looking good, it will give us a first class netball court that our young ladies can go and play. And we would also be fixing up the football field in parks. So the money couldn't do everything at once, but we started with the fence, the court, and to the back of it, there is like an area enough that we could do a restroom. Because when crowds come, you want to have the amenities there. So as of last week, just last week, we got the go ahead to continue. So this is a project that should have been completed by the second week of December. Notwithstanding the delay, we are going to go ahead with it, and we're looking forward to completing it within 6 weeks. So people have been asking me, they have written to me, what happened, Miss Davis, what a large look good, why you stop? And what is going to happen? We're really going to get it. Were you joking when I said we're going to get this first class place? But it is going to be a reality. And like I said, was stopped, but we have now gotten the go ahead and works will resume shortly.
So tell us, MP, so the stopping of that project, it was political. Can you tell us?
That's a yes or no. I'm going to say yes.
Well, the people out there, believe it or not, that thing, it might not be. We know it is, but you know,
I mean, all right. So two things I want you to note.
yes,
I had no business fixing it, except that my
that
love for and need to see the place look good and having a space that we can play. Fine. Two, we know that permits are required for structures. When you're building, everybody know, say you have to get one permit. I'm not building anything out there. I am fixing up what has been there untouched for well over 40 years. All right? So you can look between the lines. You don't have to take my word for it because I'm wearing green. But what in God's name could cause any entity to see something that will elevate a community, a parish, and stop it. All right, let us do. I love to do alternatives. Let
MP,
us
I must
say,
tell you before you go any further that you are a hit. We have 182 persons here, and we also have 383 persons on the For You page. See?
great.
So, who's watching? A lot of persons watching. Go ahead, MP.
Right. So let us do the reverse. Let us say it is not political. Let us say that for 1 second. Wouldn't
Right.
the approach be that the fence is too high? Let us do it another way. What the stopping of it tells you everything you need to know.
Right.
That's it.
Can you tell us, MP, how long has the opposition been running the municipal corporation in Hanover?
For
How many
far too
years?
long. Let's do the math. Get that. All right, so where are we now? 2016,
25.
20. Yes, they're 2025. They've had it the last two, and before then. I want to get. Let me give you the facts. I know for sure that the last 8 years, His Worship the Mayor, Councillor Sheridan Samuels, has been in charge of it. So I am certain of the last eight, and before that was Shernick. So at least the last 13. But let me just ask someone
In
to
the
check
last
that.
20 years in the coming, but we need to
Yeah.
factor.
But I mean, for the constituency, I know without a doubt it's 31 years. But I want to make sure I have all. Yes, let me just. Yeah. Make sure I have the correct information. I don't believe in misinformation. What I speak
Yeah, we
is
speak,
the
we
truth
tend
and
to
our
speak
fact.
facts and words.
I believe
We
in that.
try to keep it real with the people of Jamaica. It's the truth or not, you know. So this is how we operate on this
Yeah,
platform,
man. So
really.
I know that in 2020, when the date of our last election, when I won, it had been 31 years that the PNP had been in control of this constituency.
And nothing for the people.
Why? A very sad state of affairs. And I think, I believe we have to begin to look deeper as Hanoverians. We need to change our mindset. I wonder if sometimes in my own conversations, I don't know if we have formed the view that we are we are not to get more or to get better. It's like we've accepted this mediocrity. It's like only now that people are seeing, now that I've started the work, people are saying, but yes, okay, Miss Davis, I give a road because I want to also talk about Chambers Pen. Chambers Pen is a community that it was part of the Ministry of Local Government's drive to have a model community. A model community is one where, like you see on TV, everything good. Road good, water, internet, light, tank, everything. And Western Hanover was the first constituency in Jamaica. And so Chambers Pen is the first model community in Jamaica. Chambers Pen, I invite persons who are able to drive through Chambers Pen.
I have
They
never
have
been myself.
roads like highway,
I've
internet.
never
You haven't been?
been, no. So it
I'm
look
going
like
to
me for
encourage
up there
you.
and drive
I'm going to
tomorrow
encourage
evening.
you to visit Chambers Pen. The primary school was renovated. The internet, electricity, every household got a tank. Well, persons who did not have a tank. So I'm sure well over 300 households got tanks, right? And they were connected to NWC. And so we haven't touched water yet, but I'm going there. So Chamber Spend benefited, and I'm really proud of that project. I mean, the people of Chamber Spend, and if you know, you have to understand the logistics. Chamber Spend was chosen because I remember when I was going through the community, and at the time I had although it was old, it was a white CRV. The Jean, believe me when I tell you, I had to park at the bottom of the hill and walk. There was literally no road there. And I want you to have that image in your head when you go there and see the highway that is there now. So the Chamber Spend is deep rural. When I say country, country. And if you see it now, we've painted just even the bridges, painted the colors of the Jamaican flag, and we have the farmers have benefited. So we've had different programs. I must also thank the SDC because the team went in and made sure that every need was met. And so what I want to do, Chamber Spec is our model, but my goal is to replicate it as far as possible throughout Western Hanover. We're not country anymore, we're moving up. And so I want us as Hanoverians to just be proud and know that we can get things done. We can get the street light, we can get the water, we can get the bypass, we can get the good roads. All you needed throughout the years was good representation, and good representation is now here. And you know, I know probably I'm not a political being, but if we invite everybody in Western Hanover to just honestly just observe all the work that has been done. Take off any color shirt you have on and look at the work that you've seen in the last 1.5 years. And believe me, I shouldn't even have to campaign
Yeah, I
because
must say,
the work has been done.
you would have had a bit of delay in the COVID time, wouldn't you?
Right, so
So
which is why
this
I
work was
really
done in
say
record
yes.
time. Yes. So I must give kudos to you for the work done in such a
And
short.
there is still more to be done, and that will be done.
Yes. So MP, any other spark road start to
Oh yes, 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 yes. Spark is about to be sparking, but before we get to Spark, I want to talk about Reach because Reach program Reach.
all right.
Um, so under the Reach program, there were 10 roads. We have completed 6 of the 10. The contractor had some difficulty with equipment and asphalt, so it caused a delay. But of course, this was to be done. If you've recently traveled, and please let me just highlight that the REACH program is a patching program. The SPARK program is rehabilitation. So under the REACH, you'll see different, the bad parts of the road just being patched. On the SPARK, we're going to lift up the whole thing and give you a new road, just so it is clear. So under the REACH program, we did Friendship to Pell River, we did Prospect. So those areas that are to be done include Kendall and Grange, and we're also for persons in the Riverside division. Everybody knows the clinic in Dallas. To get to the clinic, we affectionately call it Clinic Hill. It was in a bad condition. And imagine you're not well and you're going to the clinic. The condition of the road would really probably make you feel worse.
Yeah.
So quite apart from the fact that some improvements were to be made to the clinic, we allocated monies from the REACH program to fix Clinic Hill. So that was also done. So the roads to come are Kew, Epping, Leicester Lane, although I know that Providence, Newton Cove, under the Christmas work program again. So you'd see a lot of road work just happening all over Western Hanover. We have the Dry Hill area, Winchester to Cave Valley was also done, and then the Blenheim area. Well, it really focused on the Cocoon Square. The intention was to have the works. I'm just calling these place names. I hope you're familiar with them, but just so you know, it's everywhere. So there are really 4 divisions in my constituency, and what we try to do is ensure that every area is touched. So we keep doing the roads. And you asked about Spark earlier. Um, the Prime Minister, when he made his last address, told us that most of the Spark roads would begin by mid-March, and that is the same for us. So the Richmond to Cocoon main road, let's call it that, was slated to begin, and I'm going to say a big shout out to all the residents of Richmond because they are watching and they are listening. When the contractors from NWA went there to scope the work, remember we talked about scoping earlier. I got I got a lot of phone calls that day. Person saying that, but Miss Davis, we're happy for the road, but they're starting at the Cocoon end, and we want to start it from the Richmond end. So I have submitted that concern to the engineers, and so that might cause a bit of delay because they're going to have to re-scope.
Okay.
So I guess Richmond will be saying, well, how we see them come and scope some 2 weeks ago and we don't see them come back. It is because I have listened to them and
Yes.
I want the road to be done from the area that the section that is worse. And
Okay.
so that has caused a delay. You would know Malcolm Heights.
Yes.
Malcolm Heights, the road that will take you off the main. So if there is, well, what used to happen, not happening so much these days, the traffic, if you are at the GV gas station, or before you get to the GV, you make a left. You can drive on that, we call that the Malcolm Heights Road, and it will take you basically out of the town. It's like a bypass. So
Okay.
sometime last year, we had done phase 1 of the project. So from the area, from the gas station to the middle of the road would have been done, brought up to asphalt. It is intended now to complete Malcolm Heights as part of our Spark program.
That is
The
brilliant. So
yes.
MP, I want to ask, have you given out any other new social housing
Oh
homes?
yes, oh yes. Social housing. We have so far 4 recipients. Of course, you've seen the houses, and we have the before and after pictures. I don't know whether they want their names to be called, but persons who are in really dire need, houses in terrible condition, have these brand new, beautiful, concrete, expensive looking houses, complete with all the amenities. And we are grateful here for the new social housing program. Again, it stretched all across the constituency. We had one in the Denham area, we had one in Bark, we had Campbell Hill, and we had in the Upper Chambers Pen area. So I mean, we still have 5 more to go, hopefully, because there's a long list and there is a process. But we are hoping that in short order we will have the other 5 coming through. All
So
right.
MP, before we open up the floor to questions from the panelists, can you tell us if, you know, should you retain, well, you will retain, what major project you have in mind, if you wish to disclose, I, can you tell us of any one major thing that you want to do while returning as MP for the people of Western
So,
Hanover?
right. So when we consider the work that we've done and all the
Yes,
projects that we've undertaken, we want to ensure that we complete the ones that we've started.
yes,
And those I mentioned some of those, but my interest is the community centers. We have looked at areas such as Caldwell, um, in the loose area. I think we have, let me just check, we have 5 community centers that we're going to focus on. And I say community centers, people scoff at the idea, but when you go, when I'm during my walks, people say, Miss Davis, we don't have a safe space. We want to go there, whether it is training, whether it is just to meet, whether it's for games. These, I have already submitted my project for these areas, and the scoping is set to begin soon. We're coming to the end of the financial year. So come April 1, we will see about getting those into reality. So know that Western Hanover, all the other programs that are going across Hanover, the Wi-Fi, the burial response, the distribution of the, and hold on, please, before I take the question, I want to talk about the work that has been done in relation to water. Water. All right, so the water infrastructure again in Hanover has been very bad. I don't want to bore you with how it is set up, but suffice it to say that we've seen some major improvements in the places and communities that are now able to get water. Areas in Kingsvale, Ginger Hill, Middlesex, Mount Pleasant, and I'm going to tell you how we were able to get it. At the Q lift station, there was a pump that was operating at 75 horsepower. I had to learn all these things. So because it was only operating at 75 horsepower, it didn't have the ability to, the pressure wasn't enough. Let's do it like that to send it all to all the various communities. So when you're at the pump at Q, operating at only 75 horsepower, then you'll find that by the time we go up the hill to Mount Peace, to Clifton, to Askinish, for it to filter out, there was no water. So I engaged Minister Samuda and NWC came and we doubled it. So what happened was that the horsepower was increased from 75 to 150. And the effect of that, more communities got water. From people calling me to say, Miss Davis, we don't see water in our pipe for decades. To Miss Davis, you make the water come so force you start bust the pipe. So I am delighted that that was done. And that is the investment that was spoken of when Minister Samuda visited last year and said that there would be a $20 million investment. And that is what he meant. There is more investment to come. There is going to be a pipeline from Rossies, people who are familiar with the area, from Rossies all the way to Negril. So if you've been to St. Anne, from Priory, you would see them laying pipes. And the idea it will come all the way, it's island wide. And so for Hanover's part, we will start from Rossies to Negril, and that is up to $700 million. I mean, persons have asked, right? A person have asked, and they said, Miss Davis, we thought it would be on stream already. But when I last spoke to the minister, it was at the procurement phase. And that is going to be another discussion about how procurement works. But yes, we are well on our way.
Before we open up the floor, I got one more question. I know that there was a certain spot in your constituency that was, a lot of crime and violence was happening. Can you tell us how that is going? Has the community been secure? Is the
All right,
police
so
not control of the issue? What
all right, so
role are you playing in keeping the
as
peace?
recently as last Friday, the superintendent in charge of Hanover, the Superintendent Andrew Nish, and the JCF launched a peace initiative in the community of Logwood. And you would remember that some years ago, I mean, Logwood faced perhaps one of Jamaica's most horrifying crimes, which was the killing of 6 persons from the same family. And what has happened to that community is that there's a sort of stigma associated with that community. And people often say it's a haven for criminals, and bad men are there and so on. So what the initiative set out to do was to engage the community members. But overall, Hanover has seen a marked reduction in crime since the start of the year. Um, Major crimes are down by up to 52%. And I am sure in his address, Superintendent Nish spoke to that as well. So I must use this opportunity to say congratulations to the hardworking members of the JCF here in Hanover. We are on the decline. And I remember when Hanover used to be the safest parish in Jamaica. And if we continue on this path, I am sure we're going to reclaim that title.
I would definitely love to see that.
Yes.
I'm sure Westmoreland will be competing, and it will be one of us, either either.
Yes.
Yeah.
Portland too. Portland has a really low crime rate.
So, guys, I'm about to open up the boxes to the incredible the impregnable Tamika Davis, who whooped Ian Scales' butt and sent him back in